Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your girl Mitzi, and this is Mitzi. Let's think about it. Today we are thinking about AI and HI, human intelligence. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. Dun dun dun. That is what we are thinking about today with Allison. And Allison, thank you so much for coming onto my show and sharing your time and your perspective. When you hear the words AI versus HI, what does that make you think about?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, there right now AI is on the topic of every conversation. It's the topic of every conversation, right? It's the next big thing, and essentially, there's a conversation going on, especially in creative circles, which is where I'm from. I'm a writer. I sometimes do art about what it means to be a creator. And is AI, going to take over all the creation? Are there no more stories to tell by humans? So it's definitely something that has come up in a lot of, especially literary circles right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm with you on that. I'm on that bandwagon just like you, honey, because I'm an artist as well in my own form. And I think that is something that we all really have to consider. Like, where is that balance? You know what I mean? And I think that's the key is finding that balance because even when technology was rising up in the 1950s and, I mean, 40s, 50s, 60s, it was a bunch of rise where people were against technology advancing. They didn't want these electrical microwaves in their homes. They didn't want these electrical cable boxes in their homes. You know what I mean? I even remember in the early 2000s, no cable boxes. The government's watching me. You know what I mean? Like it was a big thing. So it's just like now we realize like it's happening all over again, but just in a twist. Like even with credit cards. Oh my goodness. I remember when credit cards was just coming out and then how people were just, oh no, this will never be a thing. Cash will always be it. But now we're mainly using cards nowadays. So it's just like now that AI is wiggling its way into our world, is there any form that of AI that you currently use that you trust?
I don't use AI, not especially not in my creative works, but I do know a lot of authors or creatives who do. And it can be seen as any other tool that is coming into the marketplace. And it shouldn't replace people who are doing creative works, but maybe it can help them. So a lot of the things that you mentioned are helpful. They're not going to take over. The microwaves are not coming for us, right? So similarly, AI right now is not coming for us, but people do use it in positive ways. Granted, there are a lot of negatives too, but for example, people can use it, especially writers, sometimes use it for doing marketing copy. So, which is pretty soulless to begin with, writing those ads, right, for your book or something. So people are using it as an aid to help them get to the good stuff, which is the writing itself.
Well, absolutely. And I think the fact that human intelligence is something that we're always going to need and evolve, I think we just need to remember that our minds matter. You know what I mean? Like our art matters, like our creativity only comes from us. Like there's only art that can come from you, Allison. You know what I mean? There's only visions of the world and the way that you see it that comes from you. You know what I mean? And that's the beauty of who you are as an individual. And it's like that's this beauty of who I am as an individual. Like us as humans, we can have the beautiful and the ugly all in one picture, in one movie, in one scene, in one book, and it's beautiful. You know what I mean? But with AI, sometimes it takes away that humanistic advantage. You know what I mean? Because it's very logistic. It's very like a lot of the times people use AI for editing. You know what I mean? They'll use that
Yep.
for an editing form. But if you use it for an editing form and you're trying to have a lot of humanistic emotions, you got to be conscientious of the fact that it's going to remove those. You know what I mean? It's going to take away that those feelings that only humans can feel and understand, and feel like humans need to understand that we will never be a way of there's no getting rid of us. You know what I mean? We're here to stay. And I think it's really something interesting. So do you think the human intelligence is something that um that is going to enhance or what is your opinions on our human intelligence?
Well, I mean, the basic thing also is AI is built on human creativity. So, like, it was trained, and while there are legal questions about that, I won't get into that. It was trained on human writing, human art. So, even when it produces something, the roots of where it's producing it are from people. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. But it is generic, as you were saying. It is sort of a compilation of multiple people, so it doesn't have that unique voice. And that is one of the things that I think will put human creations on top for a long time to come, because each of us has a unique story, and through those unique stories we do form a collective. But AI is sort of grabbing that collective and being like, well, we can everyone, can't dance, for example. Like, but no, that's not true. Like, maybe the majority of people can't dance, and this is a terrible analogy, but that doesn't mean everyone can't. So it's taking, sort of like a generic overall, like, oh, well, these are all the trends. I'm going to throw it into one story and it will meet everyone's needs. It won't. That's the whole point. Like, because each of us has our own unique voice. And if you lose that, you lose a lot of what people are looking for when they go to their entertainment in art, in music, in writing. They're looking for that unique voice. They're looking for that human element. So I think that's, again, as you were saying, one way that AI is not there. It doesn't have the human emotions. It doesn't do the dialogue. People don't speak in full and complete sentences all the time. Like, we ramble on, or we have fragment. So, like, there are many small ways and bigger ways that it's not there. It's not
Yeah.
where we are as human creators.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a reality that we all have to remember is like no matter how much AI advances and tries to replace certain things that humans do that maybe seem repetitive, at the end of the day, it doesn't replace you. You know what I mean? As you as a human being, you as an individual, because you still have value. And I think as long as we focus on that, then we can most definitely be a better people because of that. And I mean, I don't know, what were your thoughts when that whole strike went out? I think it was like what, last year or so, where the Hollywood went on strike because of AI was writing their scripts instead of the
Oh,
actual writers. I mean, what was your thoughts on that when that went down?
yeah, actually, time flies. It was a couple of years ago
Oh, it was a
now.
couple
Like,
years
can you
already.
believe
Then
that?
I know, right?
Yeah,
I can't even believe it's already been a couple years. I feel like it was
I
just
know,
last
right?
year.
But I mean, well, they looked ahead at how AI could impact their industry. The writers and the actors did. So it's good that they managed to have a successful strike and put in protections. Right now, the literary community is sort of in that same fight. For their words, because if you can just write into Chat GPT, give me the next big Stephen King, like, bestseller, like, that's not cool if Stephen King didn't say, okay, you can have all my books and take my voice. And, I mean, there's a reason why he is the bestseller, right? Because he has a unique voice. But for me, like, I know there's a big worry in a lot of industries about AI replacing people, not just in the creative sphere, but also in computers, in medicine. But they're finding out that a lot of companies are jumping the gun right now. So they fired a whole bunch of, I think it was Microsoft or Apple. They fired a whole bunch of people, thousands of people, and now they're hiring them back because they found out, oh, AI is good if we have people to use it. It's not good if it's on its own. It doesn't work like that. So you still need that
Yeah.
human component in a lot of industries, not just ours.
I love that. I love that you brought that up because it just shows that when you put two things together, it's better than just the one. You know what I mean? It just shows that the
Exactly.
values. It's like engineers, they can go into a factory and they can update all the machinery, but they won't be able to update that machinery if a human wasn't able to understand what was going on, how to maneuver, how to handle it. It makes me think of, I know it's weird, but it makes me think of Willy Wonka. The one with Johnny Depp in it, and how the old man, he lost his job because they replaced him with a machine, and then later on he was able to get work fixing those machines, you know what I mean? And then he got his job back. So it just makes you realize, like, even in the littlest ways, you can still have value. And I think as humans we need to remember, like, our value still counts. So for you, do you think you would ever utilize it in your writing? I know you said you
Um,
don't currently, but do you think like in the future you would ever utilize it?
I wouldn't. I know some writers who would use it as, a helpful aid in certain ways. I know writers who have used it to, like, they plug their whole book into a place like ChatGPT and then ask for summary, which is something writers don't like to write. Writers don't like to write summaries, right, of their work, to send out to agents or put a, cover copy on the back of your books. That sort of is not why you're writing. But for me, I love all the aspects of writing. I love doing writing a blog post on my website. I like, writing the novel, writing the short story, writing the poem. So I don't think I would ever use it in my writing, just because I'm there because I love to tell stories. And most authors, I think, would say the same. We love to tell stories. That's why we're in it. We're not necessarily, I mean, we would love to have a best-selling novel that gets us like $5 billion, but we would still write our stories even if we don't. Um, so I think that's why we're here. I saw a meme going around, which I totally agree with. It was like, I don't want AI to write my books for me. I want AI to do my laundry and, wash my dishes. Like, yes, that's what I want AI for.
Yes, I think I seen that one too on Twitter because I was just like, yo, and on honesty, I have a load of laundry that still needs to be put away. Can you go ahead and do that? You know what I mean? Like, those little minor things in the homes. Yeah, I'm totally with you. But when it comes to my creativity, don't you dare touch that. You know what I mean? Don't you dare touch my creativity because that comes from a place of love, of pain, of sorrow, of grief, of joy, of so many emotions, so many experiences combined, not just my own, you know what I mean? And it's just like when we put that in paper, we reveal a part of ourselves as authors that nobody can truly understand. And I love how you said it. Like sometimes it would be a dream to be like J.K. Rowling and get tons of movies and an amusement park and all of these things. But in reality, a lot of us authors were doing it because it makes us immortalized. That's how we live on forever because somebody will be out there one day, years to come. Could be this year, could be next year, could be by the time I'm already dead and gone. They'll open that book, they'll read my story, and they'll relate. You know what I mean? And it's not for the 20 cents. I'm not going to get rich off of 20 cents for a book. I'm going to get rich off of knowing the fact that somebody can read and relate, understand, and not feel alone. And I think that's what brings humanity into what we are. We're humans. We have this togetherness that no one and nothing can take away. And one thing I do whenever I use AI, like in my car to like for GPS or anything like that, I'm like, okay, thank you, please, and thank you. And I always do nice things because if AI ever rules the world and you know what I mean, they decide to gather up all the
Exactly.
humans, at least they'll be like, you know what, Mitzi was nice, she said please and thank you, so please put her in this corner where it goes all the nice people versus all the rude people. And I spoke to another person about AI and he was like, you know what, if AI did try to gather us all up, I would hope to be a house pet and not a zoo animal. And I agree, I would rather be a house pet than a zoo animal. Would you want to be a house pet or a zoo animal if you could? If you were at that increment?
Well, definitely, I'm probably a house pet. I mean, like I have pets and they live the best life ever. So like that sounds not bad. That's okay. For
Oh,
sure.
that's
Yeah.
so funny. Yeah, see, though it's the little things that really matter. And I know time is catching up to us, and it's sad because Allison, I feel like I keep talking to you about life and everything in so many different avenues. So I truly enjoy this. But what can be some lasting words that you could leave us off with to keep on thinking?
Just that I feel like we are going through another industrial revolution right now. This is the next leap forward. But unlike the naysayers back then who said, "Oh, the industrial revolution, people will be out of jobs and will never go forward. It's the end of civilization as we know it." Similarly with AI, it's not. We're going to keep living our lives. We're going to keep doing what we love. Things might change slightly, but I think we'll be okay. you know,
Ah.
it's just one new tool in our arsenal to tackle the world.
Yes, I love that, Allison. I gave you a hug because that is so right. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys enjoyed this conversation, because how could you not? Oh my goodness, how could you not? Please go check her out. I have her lovely photo on my website. Just click on it, bloop, and it goes straight there to her website where you can find all her great content, all her great books, so that you can continue on thinking. And if you're in audio listening or on YouTube, in the description, you'll find access to her links as well so that you can continue on thinking. So, with that being said, bye.